Let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the
I have no
saints.
love for police, cause I can't trust the police. Not the way they kill my brothers in the streets. I pray the Most High have mercy on me while he cursed that wicked beast. Yeah, I cursed that wicked beast for shedding innocent blood in the streets. Sword for sword, eye for eye to the beast. I pray the Messiah return so we can get vengeance on our enemies. I pray the Most High have mercy on me. Forgive me for my sin, the ones I do and don't see. But please do something about these crooked police. The way they killing Hebrews, leave us dead in the streets. No cover, no sheet, no rest, no peace. We survive every day in the belly of the beast. How would they feel if Lil Billy never made it home to eat? Or they mothers dressed in black with tears rolling off her cheek. You gon' reap what you sow, and you know your wicked heart turned cold till it froze. There's a moral of the story, this is how it goes. The Messiah's returning for your blood and your soul. I have no love for police, cause I can't trust the police. Not the way they kill my brothers in the streets. I pray the Most High have mercy on me while he cursed that wicked beast. Yeah, I cursed that wicked beast for shedding innocent blood in the streets. Sword for sword, eye for eye to the beast. I pray the Messiah return so we can get vengeance on our enemies. The prosecutor and the judge, to all the wicked ones that hold that grudge, the same one that Esau held with Jacob. Christ said, for his sake the whole world gon' hate ya. The mayor and the government, the people and the immigrants, from lawmakers to that wretched ass president. Seem like they done made the call to go ahead and kill us all. Hold on, Zion, be strong, cause we ain't got long in these last days. So repent and try to turn from your wicked ways. I know one thing, the enemy gets slain for everything that he did to the children of the slaves. I have no love for police, cause I can't trust the police. Not the way they kill my brothers in the streets. I pray the Most High have mercy on me while he cursed that wicked beast. Yeah, I cursed that wicked beast for shedding innocent blood in the streets. Sword for sword, eye for eye to the beast. I pray the Messiah return so we can get vengeance on our enemies.
You think you got away with it in this world, but it's a price to pay in the world to come. Know that. Everything you did, you gon' get back 1,000 times.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, Zion.
Sorry about that, y'all. I had to do something to the audio real quick. Hold on, let me see something. We got some comments we need to be read. All right, first, shout out to Brother Arise, shout out to Brother Linzel. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom, brothers.
Appreciate y'all for being up in here. All right, hold on, let's see. Dang, I got the wrong one. All right, Brother Arise said, well, not long after y'all's broadcast, out neighborhood got hit with a F1 tornado. All praises to the Most High that no one got hurt. Yeah, all praises, man.
All praise.
Hey,
to the
where
Most
you
High.
at, Rod? Where that tornado hit, man?
If you don't mind, or either
Yeah.
just the vicinity,
Miracle, that 7 large oak tree fell and missed houses that had families. Damn.
wow.
Wow.
All praise to the Most High for His protection.
Right. Right.
I remember when I was a kid, we had a tornado, and it was rare to have them in our area. My daddy's house got tore up.
Yeah, Rod said, yeah, that was his first one. Hey, can you hear us now, Lindsay?
All praise to the Most High. The tornadoes be scary. That wind be coming.
Yeah, I ain't never got
Man.
hit with no tornado. I ain't never been in no tornado.
My daddy's house.
Okay, he said Northwest Bama. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
So you in the South. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, all the windows have busted out the house from the wind. The wind was so hard and heavy that the grass and the dirt was on the walls in the house.
The grass and the dirt was on the wall.
On the walls.
Inside the house?
Like the wind had blew it because the windows busted out.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
there wasn't no
okay,
windows in
okay.
the house.
Okay. Damn.
So all the dirt and stuff was on the walls, and then the neighbor's garage was in our backyard.
Dang.
This Highland Park
This was
had to be like late 90s, mid 90s.
I was in prison then. I was in prison.
Trees down everywhere.
I think I probably had to be in, if it was late 90s, then I was in Lexington, Kentucky, in the federal prison.
Trees was down everywhere. My mama's neighborhood didn't get hit so bad. We was living on Living Bridge.
Oh, okay.
But my daddy's neighborhood, the city he lived in, it was really bad. All of the siding, my daddy had just did the whole house in aluminum siding.
Mm.
The Most High sent that tornado, tore every piece of siding off that house.
Mm.
So I'm telling you, I was a kid, so I was scared, but it ain't no joke being in no tornado.
Mm.
And that was pretty mild.
Well, this is tornado time right now.
Well, we don't get tornadoes, so I don't even know when tornado
I know.
time
That
is.
was like,
Like a blue moon. We
yeah,
don't get
that
them
was the
here.
first one. Yeah, exactly.
Detroit don't get tornadoes.
But yeah, this is tornado season. This been a lot of tornadoes.
Well, yeah,
going on.
because I seen Big Head was talking about the weather
Yeah.
that they just got.
Yeah, this is tornado season.
Mm.
But man, that's a lot of
Thank the
things
Most High,
been
y'all
going on.
good, though.
Exactly. Well, anyway, it's a lot of things been going on, as usual in Babylon.
Man, I've been hearing a lot of black people trying to go to China and get fabric, purses, Jordans.
Yeah, they're
or
going crazy, man.
black people pissed off that
Yeah.
they've been paying this money. People getting clowned for the money that they paid for stuff. Coming to find out that it's all made in the same spot and it might not even be a luxury item.
Right, exactly. I mean, China, they make all that stuff, and it's ain't no difference. You know what I'm saying, from the so-called real and fake or whatnot.
Yeah.
Ain't no difference. You know, they gon' it's gonna cost them what, $1, $2 to make it or whatever, however much it costs to make it, and then they gon', ship it to these stores and say it came from Italy or, and it's like, man, but I've been done with buying expensive clothes like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I like, certain styles or certain name brand clothes. Like I wear Nautica. You know what I'm saying? But I get Nautica at a 70% discount.
The outlet.
Right. Exactly. So I'm still winning without, you know what I'm saying, breaking my bank or whatever,
Everybody love a good sale.
Exactly, but the way these dudes be with these Jordans, you know what I'm saying, all these expensive clothes or whatnot, I'm out the loop. So I don't know what they buying. Now, the last I heard of somebody buying something expensive, and I'm like, y'all crazy as hell. You know, was Big Meech's son.
That's what I was about to pull up. Lil Meech in them jeans.
Yeah, Lil Meech. He
I can't
and the
think
jeans
of the name
cost
of them though. Chrome Heart.
Goddamn $10,000 a pair.
Chrome Heart. But did you
Man,
know?
ain't no way,
but
man.
did you know that those jeans are nothing but vintage Levi's? Those are actually Levi's. So
real?
Levi's you can get what? $50, $60, something like that.
Wow.
But they add the stitching and the design on them and then charge you, which you know that stitching and that design and logo ain't no 10,000 worth. But yes, I found out that those
Ain't no
Chrome
way.
Heart jeans with the cross, they have like the cross on them, y'all. The pants we talking about, they're vintage Levi's.
Well, Lindsay
So they
said
got
my grandmother said years ago that they made that stuff for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, I've heard it before too, though. You know what I'm
Same
saying?
here.
But it was like a difference though. Like
Yeah.
the stuff that you bought out on the streets and all that, like Chinese stores and stuff
Yeah.
that they had here, like them was the knockoffs.
Right.
But then the stuff like in the Gucci stores and all that stuff, that was the real stuff. But you know, they saying this the same thing.
I dug into it a bit, and my understanding is everything is manufactured or assembled, put together in the same factory.
Exactly.
But you can have an imitation bag, meaning it's not the same quality material, like it's not leather, it's not cowhide, it's plastic. And then you have real leather cowhide. It's all assembled in the same factory. One go here and the other one goes to Italy or the Gucci store, and then they put the final touches and stamp their logo and design, but that's still crocodile or cowhide, and that one is still plastic.
Sure, that wasn't what they were saying, and you know.
I know what you're saying. That's what people are saying. I'm telling you the videos I looked at. Plus, you got to look at it like this. You know the difference between plastic or rubber versus leather, right?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Yeah,
So you know that you can get, matter of fact, we bought some fake Jordans. Remember them fake Jordans we bought? You know, them fake Jordans we bought straight from China or wherever we got them from that time versus some real leather shoes. Real leather shoes gonna last you for years, even if you don't get no maintenance on them. You still gonna be able to wear them. But them fake Jordans we bought, how long them fake Jordans last?
They ain't last that long. I mean,
So that's what I'm trying to say. They can still manufacture.
Them was falling apart.
They was falling apart.
Man.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That's the understanding I got. Like, you know, just like it's levels to lumber.
Right, exactly. But the thing about it though, what gets me is how people, you know, like put themselves on a pedestal because they wearing these type of clothes or
Covetous
whatever.
and idolatry.
Right, and then you know they would even stoop low to they would even stoop low and try to talk about somebody who ain't got it.
That's, I mean, I don't
You
like
know-
the idolatry, but my problem, I hate this about us.
Yeah, it's
Black
like
people, you will have black people who don't care. You will have kids like our kids, we didn't raise our kids on labels. So our son,
Right.
he just turned 11. He probably heard of Jordans, but he don't care about clothes, shoes, he don't care about dressing. He wear Crocs, basketball shorts, and a t-shirt. That's all he ever want to wear, whether we was in Detroit or here in Africa. But you have adults who brainwash their kids on that, and then you put them kids in a school with your kids, and them light up shoes that all our kids like when they little,
yeah.
they get clowned. Next thing you know, your kid like, oh, these light up shoes, I don't want them no more. You need to go buy me some J's.
But I can't say that it's always our parents that, you know what I'm saying, putting that into us or whatnot, because
That's true.
it wasn't my mama. You know what I'm saying? We used to go to Kmart and secondhand store or whatever. It was them goddamn rap music videos. You know what I'm saying? Watching and seeing what they had, it was Troops at my time. It was, we was wearing Troops, and what else we was wearing? We was wearing something else. Nikes, Adidas, stuff like that. You know, all the rappers they had it. We watching videos. You know, it was a time where all that's all we used to do was watch videos and stuff. You know.
But I mean, before that, when you in elementary school, you ain't really watching
Yeah,
music videos. It's somebody else's kid that's been
Yeah, but not
tainted.
elementary though. Well, not my time. It was you wearing what you like your mama had. It wasn't like that.
Well, when I was in elementary, they used to call them bobos
Well, okay,
and be like, "You got on bobos."
Yeah, you about 10 years, you know what I'm saying, behind me. So, you know what I'm saying? It's different. It was like, this is what we had. You know, you can go in school and be wearing some secondhand clothes or whatever. As long as it was nice, but you talking about in your time, you like in
But I grew
you like
up.
in the 90s, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
but
talking
I
about
grew
the
up
80s.
Poorer than you. See, your mama
How
had
you- how-
J.C. Penney. Y'all had J.C. Penney and all that. We had nothing but secondhand for the most part. Nothing but secondhand.
Well, that wasn't all the time.
Y'all
We
was
still-
precious and bougie.
No,
coming
I
up.
don't think so. You
Who
can't
had a
say
J.C.
before.
Penney truck delivering at their house when they was a kid back in the 80s and 90s? I know we
I'm
did.
saying. Mom, she worked or whatever, you know what I'm saying? She had 6 kids. You know, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? We still was poor. You know, let's not, you know what I'm saying? We was in the goddamn hood.
Well, it was different poor.
On the goddamn east side.
Y'all was poor and on the east side. We was poor and on the east side. My mama had 3 kids and made way less money. Your mama had 6 kids, but your mama made good money.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
But we have a problem in our communities with trying to force covetous and idolatry on each other, to worship them white people, the Italian designers. And then remember rumors back in the day, Tommy Hilfiger, I don't want black people wearing my stuff. All of that, but our people don't care. It's a status symbol.
Right. Hold on. Let me read this comment. Araya said, I fell into that peer pressure in 10th grade by wanting a pair of Jordans. When I finally convinced my mom to get me a pair, lasted 6 months, went to Fila and New Balance. I wore New Balance, I wore Fila.
Yeah.
Those some shoes I
When
wore.
Grant Hill came, he made Fila like
Right,
that.
exactly, right. What else? I had some Ewans before, but I only bought probably about 3-4 pair of Jordans out my whole life,
I have never owned a pair of Jordans.
and that's when they was
my whole life.
that's when they was like $100 though. They wasn't no goddamn $250 and $300 and all. Hell, I ain't never spent no goddamn $300 to $200. The highest I done spent for some shoes probably was about $150. That's it. I wasn't spending no more, over that.
I just never got into the Jordan craze like that. Plus, I was a little more frugal when I was in high school. I did get caught up in designer clothing though. Everything I wore had to have a
did.
label. But my daddy was the one buying it for me, so I wasn't working spending my money on it. But I looked at the Jordans like, shoot, I can get 2 pair of gym shoes out of my daddy for the price of that one Jordan. So let me hustle these 2 pair of Air Force up out of him versus Jordan. So I never had it, but I definitely got into Tommy Hilfiger, the Guess outfits, all of that. I think we all in high school.
Okay, Lenzel said, Florida, I was rocking Reebok Classics. I had some Reeboks before, but you know what? The Reeboks I had was them Allen Iversons, them black ones he had came out with when he was real popular. They was nice too. It was some Allen Iverson. I don't know if you know about them Allen Iversons. They was black. I had a nice little hookup with it too. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't wear Reeboks.
Yeah, but the Reeboks, the Allen Iversons, them was nice. They was nice.
But yeah, you'll have somebody else's kid or your cousin. Like you said, it may not necessarily be your parent, but it'll be a peer at school that'll tell you what you got ain't good enough. You need
Right.
to have X, Y, Z. Then you get to looking at your parents like, y'all ain't got me dressed like this. You get bullied.
Hey, that's why sometimes I ain't used to go to school.
Oh, Lord.
Shit, I'm telling you, I wasn't there. That's when I started wearing my cousins and them shoes and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
we
they
all
clothes.
did that, sharing
And
clothes.
I was like, I was getting leftovers from them. Like, all right, now I go to school. You know what I'm saying? I can deal
I
with this.
thought about it. I thought about stopping going to school from some bullying stuff, but I just remember my daddy billing the bag, then shoot, I'm gonna go to the mall and try to get fresh. But then when I got out of high school, I realized I didn't care about it like that. It was the culture, the atmosphere I was around. And as I got to be older, I care about quality clothes. I don't care about who name
Me
on
too.
it. But
That's what I
want
care
a
about.
Quality shirt or quality dress, and if I gotta
Exactly.
pay more for that, cool. And I know the difference between quality, like some good Egyptian cotton, versus polyester.
Yeah, just like I said, I wear Nautica. Nautica, they got some good quality clothes, you know. The jogging pants, the shirts, the shorts. I mean, all this stuff, it's on point. I buy the socks, I got the belts. I got a lot of Nautica, though. But the prices is sweet. They sweet.
Well, yeah, I think that's the outlet site
Yeah,
you be
that's-
shopping on,
that's-
and I
they
love
sweet.
a good outlet.
Yeah, they sweet. But moving on. Let's get into some Babylon going down, right?
We love a good Babylon Falls. So.
But you know what though? It's you know, people that's hold on, let me read this before I put this on. real
I'm
quick.
surprised you ain't get into that they little pagan festival for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we still gonna get into it. Okay, Lindsay said I agree, Obi. I believe that we didn't get into all those labels until rap started pushing that mess on. Exactly, man. Rap, that rap stuff, man, it pushed a whole lot of stuff on us, man. As
Yeah.
far as, you know what I'm saying, you dealing with different women, you know what I'm saying, multiple women's and stuff like that, you know, and it's just a whole lot, man. You
The
know,
violence.
yeah, the violence, the you know, getting in the dope game, all that stuff, man. You know, I wasn't brought up like that, man. You know, but man, you know, when that crack hit that goddamn hit the United States, it was a mess, man. It was a goddamn mess.
Yeah, I did sit around and watch a lot of music videos
Yeah.
when I was in middle school, high school, because we had nothing to do. We was idle.
Yeah.
Especially summer vacation. Your parents at work, and you and your siblings, y'all just sitting at home all summer, waiting on school to start back, and you just consume so much of that.
And all of it was just a mirage. Was fake. Was,
Because
you know
they
what I'm
be
saying?
renting that stuff. that
Yeah,
stuff be
right.
fake.
Exactly.
I done heard.
They don't be them. The women don't be they women, or they didn't mess with. They just be
the
models. and
women don't
stuff.
even look like that for
Right,
real.
exactly.
They done got enhancements. Tyrese
Right.
said he be wearing fake jewelry. Ocho Cinco
Oh,
said
yeah,
that stuff
exactly,
be
right.
fake.
It's like-
here we go trying to go buy it for real.
Right, exactly.
All down the Hamtramck,
breaking our goddamn
buying
self.
jewelry.
Yeah, breaking ourselves.
I used
Like
to take
you
my money
Negroes.
and do that.
Yeah,
Go buying jewelry at the mall.
And the thing, that's what I'm saying. And the thing about it, you know, people be all out, you know, flexing. They call it flexing. And look what I got. Look at me and all that. Nigga, we all po. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
baby.
We all some goddamn po ass niggas.
Slaves. Because
Exactly,
you
right.
paying for water.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You living in the hood.
You-
all that stuff, man.
You paying to travel. You got to have a passport and permission to go from one city to the next.
Exactly, right.
Ain't got no money.
Them people be tripping me out, holding their goddamn nose up like you doing something, like you somebody. And that's you know, people who ain't never had nothing be the ones who out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Look at me. Look what I got. They might as well have some on their shirt like I'm the nigga ain't never had nothing. You know what I'm saying?
You know how it is, but a lot of our people it gives them a false sense of self-esteem.
Yeah.
I seen one of my Facebook, you follow him, Jack Funny 313.
Yeah.
He did a video like how people act when they first get a Rolex, and you know he did a video with the Rolex, and then somebody commented, "This must be your first Rolex."
Probably
And
so,
he
yeah.
responded like,
Oh, yeah.
heck yeah, it is.
Oh.
And I was shocked. But he was basically making a skit, laughing at people, but telling the truth on his own self. He just got his first Rolex, and he want to show it off.
That's
He's
crazy.
in love with it. And in the skit, he didn't even have a car. And so, you know, the girl clowning him like, you talking stuff about me, but you ain't even got a car. And he like, I don't need a car. I got a car on my wrist. This is how our people think.
Exactly, right. Just like Kanye say, as far as
Yeah.
buying a car before a nigga get a house or whatever, you
Yeah,
know, it's like
from,
man,
That All Falls Down song.
Yeah,
He
right.
did spend some time speaking about how they try to get us caught up in these luxury brands
Exactly.
and spending money that we don't have. And all praise to the Most High for China exposing it all, like all that crap fake.
Yep, all of it fake, right. Y'all been getting got. They telling.
I've been wanting to ask you. I'm not gonna put you
What?
on the spot. Do you feel like I done got?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I ain't asked him since this stuff came out. I wanted to get your opinion. You feel like I got on some purses, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking
knew
about
it.
too.
I
Some
knew it.
goddamn purses.
I
or
knew you
whatever.
was gonna say that, but I don't agree. Because the quality of the leather is
Whatever,
the
man.
quality is there.
You still gonna get got. You still gonna get got.
Well,
You still-
I mean, I agree in the sense of I paid more than what the production and manufacturing costs, but you got to think, no one's going to sell an item for what they pay for it. They have to make a profit, right?
The Negroes. Negroes. I tell you, man. You put it in their face, they still can't see it and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, go on here, take my money. Here, I don't need it, y'all. I got money or whatever. I got me a night job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Go on, just take my money.
No,
Man.
it ain't like that. I just think that the purchases I made, the quality is still there. Again, you can tell the difference between leather, cotton, and polyester.
Yeah, you can, but still, the fact, you know what I'm saying, of the matter is that China ain't said that shit for nothing. Like, y'all can get it from us, you know what I'm saying, way, way cheaper than,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, that's what I'm saying, though. You know, at the end of the day, you still getting got. It's like, here, take my money and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, though, you know?
But I think about them times I went to New York shopping.
Right.
All of that stuff was fake. Like when we got
So
the
it
fake
was fake?
Jordans. All of that stuff was fake when we used to go to New York back in the day and go shopping. All that stuff was fake. We bought it on the streets. It was all fake. And the material gave it away. It's the reason why it was $20 or $60, whatever it was back in the day. Because you could tell by the material. But if I put a fake bag made of whatever material that is next to a 100% cowhide
Leather or whatever.
leather bag, the difference, a leather bag is gonna last a lifetime. It even have a lifetime warranty. You know, I done sent the bags back to be, restored or
Right.
whatever. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that is true. We do pay too much for the stuff.
Hell yeah, that's we're the number one consumers,
We are,
and
that's
we'll pay
sad.
top dollar for it.
And that's sad.
Just to be like, oh, I paid this much for this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I don't do that. Let's say for
Retard.
the record, I don't do all that.
no, you don't do that, but you know.
But I've overpaid for some stuff.
All right, but moving on though,
Okay.
we're gonna let's talk about some of these heathen bastards, feeling like America is winning with these tariffs or whatnot, and it's like, who do we believe? These people who's putting up these videos saying that, oh, America, China is begging America to talk and all this stuff. But on the other end, I'm hearing other videos like China don't even want to talk. Like they don't want to do no business with America no more. They done or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But for example, this one video that I'm gonna show right quick, and you can see how these goddamn heathen bastards is.
They think it's some hope.
Listen to this dude right here. This pink booty ass dude. We'll be right back.
So guess who blinked? It wasn't the US, China did. Almost immediately after the United States raised our tariff against China to 245%, China was on the phone saying, we want to talk to you guys about trade. First, it was Japan this week. Yesterday, it was Italy. And today is South Korea. Next in line might be China. China's gonna win. The United States has only been around for 200 something years. China's been alive for 5,000. Bro, stop. It's just so funny that everybody's like, oh, the US is about to blink. Right now, China's like this. And you want to know why? Because regardless of how long they've been around, they've never been around a country that is not going to back down the way the U.S. is taking a stand today. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't hear how China had contacted the EU, had contacted Japan, had contacted Korea, had contacted all of these individuals that are now setting up appointments with the United States about trade. Somehow the world thought all the nations would run to China to seek agreement, and the exact opposite happened. The EU had one conversation with China and they're like, you know what? Yeah, we can't do this. We're going to go make friends with the United States again. The UK, like, you know what? We're going to try to team up with China because we got to teach the US a lesson. Now the UK wants to talk to the United States again. So much for being around for 5,000 years, huh? And I could almost guarantee the individuals that are going to be in my comment section like, no, China knows what they're doing. The US called them. No, bro, the US didn't call them. China called us. Because for some reason, China thought Biden was still in office. He thought Kamala Harris was still vice president. That ain't what that's not what's happening today. So once again, a younger nation, 1. 5,000-year-old nation, 0.
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
We don't believe. We don't believe.
I mean, he don't have no receipt.
He ain't got no receipts. You know what I'm saying? How you know that China called America?
Because Trump got up, had a press conference and said it.
And they lied.
And that's that little bit of hope that the Edomites taking and running with.
And let's not forget who we dealing with. These are liars as soon as they be born. Right? You know what I'm saying? So Trump, and how many lies Trump done told?
Every time he opened his mouth.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He told them
like,
groceries was going to be affordable, egg prices was going to. I was just watching the clip today, I think, and they played the video of Trump saying he going to end the war with Russia and Ukraine the first 24 hours when he took office.
What happened to that?
And this was some white people roasting Trump. Like, you said this war was going to be over. What's going on?
What happened to that?
The economy, you ain't fixed nothing. They did a poll. And they were showing how his approval rating down. But everybody regrets their vote, the ones who did vote for him.
Right, exactly, right. But let's look at another video. Well, let's look at a video as far as China turning its back on America. We'll be back.
Breaking news. China just changed the rules of the game. It told the United States straight to its face, we don't want to do business with you, and we're not giving anything back. Just like that, the U.S., through a company called BlackRock, was trying to take control of 2 strategic ports in the Panama Canal. The deal was massive, over $23 billion, but China completely blocked it. Why? China said the move smelled like a monopoly and that no one had asked for its permission. And since the ports are still under a Hong Kong-based company, China stepped in and stopped everything. But that wasn't all. China also announced it's launching investigations into major U.S. companies because it doesn't trust them, and to top it off, is shut the door on more deals with American firms. The most intense part? The U.S. was aiming to regain influence over the Panama Canal. Now, it just lost it completely. China made it clear this is not a game. And if the U.S. wants a trade war, it's gonna get one.
All right, see, now it's just multiple videos of, somebody saying this as far as on China's side, somebody saying this as far as on America's side. But you got to think about it, Trump, he's a goddamn liar. And just now, I believe this one right here. China don't trust America.
Plus, they've said it.
Right.
G and that one guy, I don't know if we was watching it together, and they was interviewing him about it. He was like, we don't care.
Right.
It's over. We don't care. Matter of fact, that's the video that that's him right there. That's him, the fat white guy that you played the first video.
Right.
That was basically him responding to this video. Because they was like, China been around longer than America. So
exactly,
we good
right.
without y'all.
Exactly, right. And that's just facts though. Like they put it in, the Most High put it in their mind, look, y'all been around here longer than them. I'm gonna take their ass down, you know what I'm saying?
don't even pay that tariff stuff no man.
Exactly.
Y'all don't need them. Anybody in America, including our children. Somebody, I forgot to show you. Somebody did a video. They had the "Make America Great Again" hat. Took it off their head and pulled the tag, and the tag said "Made in China."
And that's the thing, though. You know, a lot of stuff is made from China.
We can check our clothes right
Exactly
now.
right.
What it
It's
say.
gonna be made from China. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at this video right here. The video that she's talking about. What my man was talking about. I don't know if he's saying it's 5,000 years on this, but they ain't buying it.
China's military buildup is basically to prevent the United States using war as an instrument, try to surprise China and try to wrestle China down, or to delay China, to derail China's peaceful rise. That's the only purpose. China is making sure that the American gets the message. If you want to impose war on China, you get war. If you want to destroy China, you get destroyed. If you want to bomb China out with nuclear weapons, you will be wiped out with nuclear weapons. That's the mutually assured destruction theory, mad theory, that everyone in Pentagon, everyone in Washington, D.C. should fully know about. China is not going to be pushed around, and China will fight to the end, one way or another, peacefully or otherwise. So the choice is in Washington. China wants to be a partner of the United States, rather than being a slave of the United States or being a subordinate of the United States. Well, first of all, since the end of the Cold War in 1991, how many wars has the United States been involved? The world knows. If the Americans pretend not to know, the world knows. How many wars has China been involved in? Zero. Let me emphasize, zero. This is the track record of China defending peace. And that is the track record of the United States being involved in war after war after war. So I think while the American policymakers in Washington may pretend that they don't know the truth, mankind as a whole knows about the truth. They know China today is the most important stabilizing force in the world. Washington is the most disruptive force in the world. China stands for peace. The United States is eager to use war to solve its geopolitical problems in one region after another. No one can hide away from the hard truth and hard data. That is the world we are faced with. China wants to promote peace. China wants to promote peace with the United States. But if the United States dares to impose war, any kind of war, tariff war, trade war, technological war, Cold War, proxy war, hot war, China will fight back. That's not belligerence. That's the Chinese people's determination to anyone trying to impose war on China.
Man, they ain't having that shit. They ain't having that crap from America, man.
But that's him though. That's the dude who said China been around for 5,000 years. And I think he said America like 300, so we don't need them. And that's why that white man in the first clip was saying the stuff he was saying and lying, talking about China called America and want to deal with them. They said they want to be peaceable, but America not going to do it.
America ain't going to do it.
They're not number one, and everybody's bound to their agreements. They're not going to be peaceful.
Exactly.
That's why they're going to have to unleash them nukes.
And that's the attitude that Trump got.
Oh,
He
yeah.
the best president to be up in here
You know
to
what?
fulfill the prophecies and whatnot.
I forgot I was supposed to look this up because the white guy I was listening to earlier been saying Trump is a fascist and him and his administration, but I don't know what a fascist is. I forgot to look it up. Authoritarian. Dictatorial leader. Centralized militarism. Forcible suppression of opposition. All right, so I see why they call him a fascist.
Who? Trump?
Yeah, some Edomite news I was listening to today kept calling him and his administration fascist, and I forgot to look it up because I didn't want to leave about the video, but now I see why they're saying that. Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I got this scripture that I want to bring out.
Heathen on
I know I
me.
probably brought it out probably a week ago or a couple of weeks ago, but it's like we seeing this.
You loving it.
We seeing this at first hand. You know what I'm saying? As far as
The fall of Babylon.
exactly right. Like you hear dude was like, you know, y'all been in wars. How many wars y'all done been in? I can't even count, man. I can count 10. You know what I'm saying? But it's been so many goddamn wars that they done been in, or they didn't started, or they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Started a coup, or you know what I'm saying? The proxy wars and all that
I like
stuff.
how he said if the American people act like they can't remember, but the world remembers.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
we paying attention
They-
to what's
exactly.
going on over there.
Right.
And the thing about it is, to me, the other world leaders is like, look, we'll mess with y'all, but what y'all got to understand is like your girl. Think about your girl video. I want to fight.
Yeah.
They basically like because y'all heard them like, you know, we want to work with y'all, but America can't stomach not being number one. That's the
Exactly,
problem.
right.
Their pride won't let them take a seat in the back of the bus. You're still on the bus. You just in the back. And China and Russia and these people is up front. But America can't. They're not. The Edomites not gonna go for that.
Nope.
If they not top dog, then everybody can get it. We can all blow each other up.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're gonna push these
And
goddamn
that's
buttons.
the biggest problem. I was watching this one video talking about the technology over there. And I don't watch a whole bunch of their stuff, but it is one guy who do like food content. I be watching, he real funny looking. But they got technology. You think we got gadgets?
Man.
The stuff they have, they was talking about how many years in advance the
Yeah.
Asian community
Is ahead of America,
Yes.
exactly, yes.
And
it
while
is.
the video was playing too, side note, y'all, we checked each other's clothes.
Right,
His his shirt is in Vietnam, and my dress is from Indonesia.
Indonesia, right.
Not that we
it's
even
not
needed
America.
to tell y'all, but when you check everything, what's made in America?
You right.
All the plants, they been took all the big manufacturing plants up out of America. I remember when I was a kid, especially in Detroit, y'all know Detroit had a lot of the industrial, especially for car stuff. You know, Detroit was known for being the big three.
Yep.
You
yep.
kind of made it if you worked at one
At
of the
one
big
of
three,
exactly.
Chrysler, Ford, or GM. Like you
Right.
made it. Your family was set.
You had
good.
some money, yeah.
You had money. You was living good. My grandfather retired from one of the three.
My grandfather did too.
And they
He
had
retired
them
from Ford.
pensions. Okay.
Yep.
I don't remember which one my granddaddy
He
worked
retired
at.
from Ford.
But he retired. So like for us seeing firsthand all the plants closing, them buying out all the old heads, putting the young people that we went to school with up in there, paying them pennies compared to what they was paying the old heads, it's really the production and manufacturing in America is really going down.
It is though. It is though. But I wanted to read the scriptures and whatnot. As far as hold on, let me get this right quick. Let me get this comment from Brother Linzel. Linzel said, "What's made in America? Hate, oppression, and LGBTQ." No, you had that rainbow flag or whatever. But this is I'm gonna start at Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." And why is it saying virgin? O virgin daughter of Babylon. Because this ain't the old Babylon, you know what I'm saying, in Iraq.
Right, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. And it's finna, you know, it's finna get even more specific as far as her being, America being a virgin. It says, "For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate," because she's never been touched before. It's never been
Okay,
any, you
I'm
know what I'm
getting it, I'm
saying?
getting it.
Exactly, right. Now jump down to 3. "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." So, right there, America nakedness is being seen. The Most High lifting up that dress, like, look at all the shame that she's done. You know what I'm saying? She a whore.
Every time I watch a video, I go to the comments and you have people talking about America, like just how bad it is. Like I was watching some health videos, and someone from another country was like, I can't believe that they allow Americans to eat food that's banned in other countries.
Right. Who is his brother? Aya? Shalom, Aya.
Shalom.
Says shalom family, much love and respect always. Much love and respect, much love.
All praise.
Exactly, right. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Appreciate you, leaving a comment in the chat. It's always, good to have our brothers and sisters, come and say something, or, if you just say what's up or shalom or whatever. That's a good thing. We appreciate you, though. But everybody, though, just like he said, the world is watching. Maybe America's not watching, you know what I'm saying? But
some of them Edomites watching.
Exactly, they is, though. They know what's happening.
Seeing the ship go down.
Exactly, they know they know the ship going down.
They know that the white man, the precious white man, is not going to be the most coveted, the superior, dominant person to terrorize the earth.
Exactly.
Anymore. Their reign is over, and white people are so scared because they're unsure about what's going to happen to them.
Right.
What is it going to be like to have to take a seat at the back of the bus?
Right. Exactly. And before and to have us remind ourselves of some of the wars that they didn't start it and had proxy wars and all that stuff. Let's look at my man again. You know what I'm saying? Who told on him? We'll be right back.
10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, "I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." I said, "Is it classified?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, don't show it to me."
So those countries right there, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Sudan, Lebanon, who else? The one country, Somalia. You know what I'm saying? All these countries or whatnot. They didn't already took most of them. Well, they didn't took all of them down except Iran. Iran the last one.
Yeah, the point when he said that we got the military and we can take down governments, that is so sinister. Just think, people in America for some reason have the mindset that other countries need us to come in and show them how to live the American way.
Mm-hmm.
And these countries do not want that. They've expressed it. They don't care what American culture thinks of their country. They happy the way they are. They don't care about all that stuff that Americans care about. So their mindset is, yeah, let's support the government to go in there and civilize them and bring them democracy because they need it. Look at how they're living. It's a third world country. Well, this is all they know. And they ain't got no problem there. A lot of people outside of America live simpler lives. They don't need all this fancy stuff. And a lot of it's because they don't have the money. That's true. And that's because America steals the resources.
Mm-hmm.
And then they try to, how can you put it, like bamboozle them with the dollar when your natural resources is worth more than that dollar.
Exactly.
The dollar ain't even backed by anything.
Nothing.
But they allure the leaders of these countries, make these leaders sell out their own people, and then you just have this cycle of bad government and leadership all across the board. And y'all already know the civilians just fall through the cracks, the regular everyday people. But that go in and take down a government. Could you imagine if pick a country, the Chinese, the Arabs, just come in and say, we finna change everything, we gonna take over America, y'all gotta live like this, y'all gotta do this. Our whole world would be upside down because we don't want that. We don't want to live that way. Oh, you have no choice. Live this, convert or die.
Right.
That's
exactly.
what America do to the world.
Exactly. And then as far as my next video is an example of America and its bull crap. You know what I'm saying? Because these other countries, they're not gonna have this type of mess that I'm about to show on they broadcast and on they TV and all that stuff. They don't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But America, they want the whole world to be like them.
To go along with what they say.
Exactly. And they got an agenda. They got a agenda. You know, especially with this LGBTQ thing. You know what I'm saying? They want to shove that down our kids' throat. They got it all in the schools and all that stuff. It's like, man, no. Now y'all pushing it now.
Yeah, they paying them. Your former boy, D Wade, was on a talk show showing off his nail polish and his man purse. They got these athletes who either get down with that lifestyle or was touched, because a lot of people be getting touched back in the day. Or they give them that money to push that agenda, and so you can have a big name behind it. Him and his daughter, they keep them in the spotlight to push that agenda.
Exactly right, and then too, the scriptures don't lie, man. They just don't lie. You got these pedophiles, you know what I'm saying? These dudes who want to, change these kids and let them teach them it's okay, you can be a woman and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's the Most High said, train a child, you know what I'm saying, while they're young. And when they get older, they ain't gonna never turn from it. That's why you see a lot of these, men who thinking they women or want to be women or whatever, they not trying to change because that's what they was taught. As young little kids or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You spoke about Dwayne Wade. His son was young when they was teaching him this bull crap. Mm-hmm. You can be what you want. If you want to be a woman, you can be a woman. Like, yeah, y'all sick as hell.
Got him away from the real mother.
Exactly,
got
right.
Him up there in that house with that witch. I told you a long time ago that woman was a witch.
Yeah.
You thought I was tripping. But it starts with a lot of that.
Well, they wasn't out, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't out there like that. Maybe but you did see it though. I didn't see it at the time. They wasn't out there like that. They wasn't showing their hand and shit. But now it's like.
Well, I had heard something about her way back in the day, way before social media.
Well, I was speaking on Wade though. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't showing those type of tendencies or whatnot.
Gabrielle,
I remember that.
But
go ahead.
I just wanted to say a lot of it start when them boys be young. The daddy might not be around, and they want to watch their mama get dressed, put on makeup, play on her heels.
Man, that's why.
And the devil jump right in on that.
Exactly.
Put that spirit.
Because that protection ain't there. That man, he not there to be like, no, hell no. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's very important. A lot of us men who didn't have no fathers, we slipped through the cracks. The Most High had mercy on us and shit. You know what I'm saying? He protected us. From a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's very important for a man, to be in that son's life.
Yeah.
It's so important.
But in D Wade's case, I want to bring out that it was important for his real mama to be in his life.
Exactly,
because
right.
His real mama protested all of this.
Exactly.
But Dwayne Wade had the money, shut her down, made her look crazy.
And he was with the agenda.
And he was with the agenda, him and his new wife.
Exactly.
Correct, because when the mama was still around, he was a boy.
Right.
Back in the day, he was a boy.
Yeah, right.
But look who do you always see? Gabrielle Union, right there cheering them on. Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
With her wicked self. So I just want to point that out as far as the birth mother was trying to stop all of this, but they painted her as crazy. She was losing her mind, which maybe she was. But she was trying to keep her son a boy. But Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle got custody, and that was it.
Yeah, but they're gonna paint a picture of her being crazy and all that. She ain't with the agenda. I don't want my son like this or what? Oh no, we got to make you the villain.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
You the bad guy. You know.
Maybe just as far as her like tripping. You know how they do us. If
Right.
you show emotion or you show out a little bit, you the crazy one, and maybe she showed too much emotion. But I never liked the way he played that. Like, you want to leave your wife and get with Gabrielle Union, okay, but why you got to tear them boys from her
Exactly.
like that? I thought that was real foul.
Exactly.
Only to turn the one into a queer.
Right, exactly. But this next video, this Dr. Phil or whatever, fair use, it's this mother, she having a hard time accepting her son as a transgender, you know? And I don't blame her. But let's look at it and we're gonna talk about it.
How you're a woman.
I don't need to. I don't
Right.
need validation from you or
Right.
anybody else. You can't name one time I've ever asked you to call me a woman.
You can't, because you know I'm not.
But I didn't ask you to.
Okay, don't.
You know why? Because I don't need that validation from
Great.
you as a human being.
Great.
Angela is gaslighting to her conservative people who agree with her, and she's gaslighting and she's trying to make it seem as if, oh my God, I just want Javian to respect himself, and I don't want Javian to do this, and you know, him dressing like a girl. And you're making about this whole sexuality thing, which it is not.
It is for me.
Okay, that's what it's about.
Okay. He's the one that actually wants to encourage his LGBTQPIA plus base.
We don't need your
have it.
approval.
No, it's about
We don't
you.
want it.
It's not
I don't
them.
want your approval.
You'll never have it.
I don't need it.
You won't get it.
I don't need it.
You won't get
I'm
it,
a
sir.
full, complete
You won't
human
get
being.
it, sir.
And you don't. I
won't
don't
get
need it, ma'am.
I have 3 sons.
Who all
you
have
have
had
one
issues with
mother.
you. Who all
You
have
can't
had
speak
issues
for
with you.
them.
I would
You
rather
got
be
one
motherless
mother.
10 times
You are.
over
You
than
are.
deal with a toxic
And I
parent.
would rather have
I would
the two
rather have
sons
my
that I
father
have
be
than
in the
one that's
grave.
mentally
I would rather
incapable
have
of
my
making a
father be in the
decision as
grave,
to
and I
whether
would
he's a
rather
man
not
or a
have a
woman.
relationship
y'all know.
with you.
Well, too
Hold
bad.
on.
Be toxic.
Stop
Too bad.
talking.
Why you feel like you gotta speak
excuse
for
me,
your,
I don't need you to
speak
interrupt
for
me.
yourself. I'm not up here speaking
I'm
for
speaking
Trump.
for myself.
You hear what your
and my
mom
community.
trying to work out.
Because when I hear an
And that's
ignorant
the
bigot,
thing.
I feel the need
That's the
to
thing.
speak
That's
for
the
myself
thing.
and my community.
And you're only a
Can you
bigot when
please
you
not
don't agree
interrupt
that a
me?
man
I haven't
can't
got a chance
become
to
a
talk
woman.
for 5 seconds.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
a bigot and you're
I haven't got a
mentally
chance.
ill,
Okay,
son.
let her-
You are
let-
mentally
come on.
ill, son.
Allow-
You're mentally ill,
I'm
son.
rich.
And
as
you
You
well.
and I are
I'm
having
doing
a
great.
If you rich,
conversation.
why you sitting up
I'm
here with tissue
successful.
in your bra?
I don't have tissue in my bra.
You don't have tissue in your bra.
No, I don't. You want to look at it?
You're
and
right.
see?
Okay.
So if I could get
You're
a chance
right.
to
Please,
speak for a
Yeah,
second.
you
allow
want me
this-
to sit on this stage and be convinced that I'm sitting here talking to a man and it's
She
my
gonna
son
embarrass
sitting
herself.
right
Go right
across
No,
ahead.
but I
me.
do want you to respect
With Franks
my.
and
I do
beans.
want you to respect my right to finish this conversation
Okay,
string
go ahead.
here. I let you speak without interruption.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Angela, for me, is a brick wall. Like, if you don't agree with what she agrees with, it's very hard getting through. I've been trying to do this for 13 years. Imagine what you can do in 40 minutes. And this is all respect to you. I feel like in order for you to help people, people have to want to be helped. So just speaking for myself, it's a lot less about the science of who I am and as far as my DNA, who I am. You don't have to like me or agree what I do, but as a human being, respect is all it really calls for. You don't have to think I'm a woman. That's cool. That's fine. You can think I'm mentally ill. That's cool. That's
I know
fine.
you're mentally.
And there you go. There you go.
That was a trip.
Right. It's like, you know,
The
Right, man.
disrespect.
right. It's crazy, Orion. You know what I'm saying? I'm shaking my head too. It's like, God damn. Like,
To me, if it was just the two of them, it probably would have got physical.
right, yeah.
I don't trust the disrespect he
That's
was
what
bringing.
I'm saying. It was just too much disrespect. And, you know, it goes to the scriptures, to the commandment. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the most important commandments there is. Honor thy father and thy mother. Honor thy father and thy mother. You know what I'm saying? And this is with this whole, you know, man laying with man, woman laying with woman, you know, you can see the outcome of a lot of these stories and whatnot. As far as, you know, sometimes these men, they want to trick, you know, a man who are heterosexual or whatnot. And that man, that heterosexual, he can't take it up here. Like, I didn't kiss the man, or I didn't got oral sex from a man, or I didn't, went in somebody's back door. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, man, they ain't gonna be able to take that.
I mean, I love the fact that the boy said the mother is a brick wall. Do you know the strength it takes for her to be that brick wall? You got this crap around her other sons, and I love that she's being a brick wall. The Most High got a spirit on her to not accept this behavior.
Exactly.
And you done spent 13 years trying to break that wall down on this woman.
Exactly.
Instead of going on, if you really don't, look, we are grown. Once you get to that point in life where you don't care about nobody's approval, what nobody think, you ain't even finna waste your time trying to convince nobody. Now you go on with your life and do you. So I don't understand why you want to bring your mama on this show, because the whole point is you want her to accept it. Let's just keep it real. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, how could a mother accept a son having tissue in a bra?
And that's the mindset of all these people, women and men. I got a sister that's, you know what I'm saying, she in that type of lifestyle, and I don't agree with it. And it's like, you're not finna come around my kids with that bull crap. You know what I'm saying? So we stay into it. I don't even talk to her. I'm not friends with her on Facebook, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And plus, she don't know how to respect my mother. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother, she not with that stuff. So it's crazy, that they want you to they want you to change your morals, and you know what I'm saying? You ain't. I don't want you to have no morals because I'm in this type of lifestyle. So you got to,
bend.
Yeah, you got to bend. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was with all that, then we'd probably be boons and buddies and whatnot. But I'm like, oh, the
y'all
hell,
still be cool.
get the hell on. No, I'm not finna do that. Like some of my other sisters or whatnot, they might accept that, but me, I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it.
I got the same situation in my family. I got a couple, but it's one particular family member that got it out for me because I ain't condoning it. I don't deal with it. I don't acknowledge it. And that spirit on them have a problem with you because most people go forward, they go along to get along, or be like, long as it don't affect me, I don't care. But for me, I'm like, nah, I don't want no parts of that.
Right.
And I always be like, I think it's a phase. I think you're going to come back to where you're supposed to be anyway.
Well, the Most High, you know what I'm saying? He got a spirit on me, just like they got a spirit on them. And their spirit can recognize my spirit and shit.
That's
you know
what the
what I'm
problem
saying?
is. That's why it's always tension with
Right.
it, because it's like,
Right.
oh, we got one. It's somebody in the room who got a problem with what I'm doing. And I'm like, yeah, plus y'all so extra with it.
Right.
Like, oh boy, you in full female attire.
Man.
My family member, the complete opposite. You in full man attire. You wearing man clothes. You wearing boxers. And somebody said a long time ago, like, studs wearing boxers. What y'all do? Y'all on y'all period. Like, you're still a woman.
Right.
I'm not going to acknowledge you as no man.
Man.
And furthermore, if y'all don't care, they swear they don't care. Why you worried about my thoughts on it?
And then when I, you know what I'm saying, like we arguing or something, and I try to, like let her know that you a woman, like you bleed every month. You know what I'm saying? You better, go get you worry about getting you some pads or something. She want to try to put on me like, oh, you gay and this and that, and I'm like, oh, that's the you want to try to say that about me, but this is your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, this is why we into it, because you doing what you're doing.
Because you want to accept it, and because she feel like you got some type of influence over your mama, and your mama not accepting it.
Right.
In my case, I just think I got a kind of jealous-hearted family member who just got a problem with me, period, and then once they jump ship, it's like, oh, I really got a problem with you because you ain't condoning this. And I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Keep that over there.
Exactly.
And if you're so secure with what you're doing, why do you want to shove it down my throat? Why you want to make out with your people in front of our kids? We all having to get together. It's little kids. The next generation is in the room. You want to make out all hard with other same sex? Man, I'm up out of here. I ain't got time for this.
Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. I ain't got time for that shit neither, it's crazy how, you know, they want to, again, shove that down your throat and then be doing inappropriate stuff around the kids, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, man,
you the problem for not accepting
it.
And then what really tripped me out is everybody in the family be against it. Don't nobody say nothing.
Right.
Everybody want to perk. But when that person not around, they talk their stuff. But when that person come around, it's like only you is the person with a problem with it. And I'm like, nah, everybody in the family got a problem with it, but everybody else in the family try to sugarcoat or put on a face for you.
Yep.
And me, I don't. I ain't got no face to put on for you.
Hell no.
I'm gonna be me.
Me neither.
You a woman, I'm gonna deal with you as a woman.
Hell yeah.
And that's that. I ain't putting on
Right.
no face. And if you ask me, which the family member did ask me about it, I'm like, nah, that ain't right. You know that. What you asking for? You know it ain't right.
Man, oh man. That's crazy. That's crazy. But we're gonna
Babylon for you.
Yeah, that's straight Babylon. Well, it's that time, y'all. We're gonna go and get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for stopping through. Brother Rye, Brother Linzel, Brother Ayah. I hope I'm saying it right. Appreciate you for coming. Man, but y'all, we gotta stay vigilant. Keep them commandments.
Speaking of vigilant, the other stuff, little stuff to hit on. It was a shooting at Florida, I think FSU, one of the colleges in Florida. I think 2 people died and just 6 was injured. And then I don't know if you heard, they were supposed to be protesting still today. The Trump protests continuing. And lastly, Target had so many drops in their sales with that DEI and all that they called out Sharpton.
Right.
To have him come beg black people to come back and shop at Target. So we'll keep an eye on that and update y'all on those. I just thought that was interesting.
Right, but all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, through His Son, Yahweh Shai. We'll be back next week. You know, Most High willing. Y'all already know what it is. And with that, we're going to say Shalom.
Shalom, Zion.
Hold on, let me see. Ariah said, yeah, the kid that shot up FSU was a white supremacy. Damn.
I didn't know that. I didn't get that far into it, so I appreciate you for letting us know that. I just seen a few headlines about it, and I felt like it wasn't like being pushed out there, but now I know why.
Yeah, you already know. If they don't show him then, it's white.
I didn't see him, and I just felt like it wasn't being talked about on the bigger news outlets. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that. They is not gonna do that. But again, y'all keep the commandments. Let's stay prayed up. I'm gonna pray for y'all. Y'all pray for me and my family. We appreciate y'all stopping through again. And with that being said, we're gonna say Shalom. See y'all next week, Most High willing.
Y'all be on it. I love it. Y'all vigilant.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Shalom, y'all.